Something you may not have guessed about me by my maudlin demeanor and fairly gloomy interests is that I'm actually quite the Christmas person. Since November has come and gone, the Garwin Gamer Christmas countdown has begun, and what better figure line for me to cover to ring in the season than the oft-forgotten, but truly special line of figures released for Santa Claus Is Coming to Town. Released in 1970 by Rankin Bass, Santa Claus Is Coming to Town isn't the most popular of the classic iconic stop-motion specials released by the studio, but it's probably my favorite. The worm characters, including the sweetest and best version of Kris Kringle and the ever-iconic Winter Warlock, these characters were just primed for the action figure treatment. But being a holiday special released in the 70s, it would seem that they would forever be relegated to overpriced, but still quite nice, Hallmark ornaments. Or so it would have guessed. But 34 years after its first airing, the company Memory Lane would release a fairly extensive line of figures, featuring pretty much every character you could want, even giving us a playset to display the figures with. The line starts off with none other than everyone's favorite icon of Christmas, Burgermeister Meisterburger. Coming packed with accessories like everyone else in this set, Burgermeister comes with a removable cast, bib, lamb chop, cane, yo-yo, and even a removable hat with a cloth goods feather. Next up is our classic iconic Santa Claus figure. Kris Kringle comes packed with a little plush sack of presents, a toy boat, and a doll, as well as a little piece of paper with his naughty or nice list printed on it. Now we've got pre-Claus Mrs. Claus, Miss Jessica, who comes with a couple classic iconic Rankin Bass critters, being a little bird and rabbit, some letters, her glasses, and another doll, but with a different color scheme than the one that comes with Kris. Now, more of a playset than a figure, Topper the Penguin comes with a large, evil, spooky tree and a snow base, as well as two squirrels, both equipped with matching presents. Sticking with the sidekicks, Burgermeister's goon Grimsley comes fittingly with a toy soldier, Burgermeister's wheelchair, and a sword that's far more realistically detailed than anything we'd see from Hasbro or Mattel nowadays. Next in the line is Tonta Kringle, coming with a very nicely detailed baby Kris Kringle, wrapped nicely in some cloth goods, as well as a fully detailed Kringle history book, complete with multiple pages. The final single pack character actually had two different variations, with Winter Warlock getting a pre- and post-transformation figure. The evil Winter Warlock figure came with a toy train and a sign warning trespassers into his domain. The good version of Winter Warlock, or as he'd prefer, just Winter, comes with quite the array of magical goodies, like candles, deer food, potions, and his classic iconic magic wand and magic snowball. Now, before I move on to the final figure in this line, I just need to talk about how wonderful the cloth goods are, especially on the Winter Warlock figures. It really perfectly replicates exactly how he looks in the special, and the matching, I don't know what to call it, the fur hair on his beard, it's just the cherry on top of this figure. That's truly one of my grail items. Final item released as part of this set is quite special, as like we've seen in my previous videos, most of the niche and smaller figure lines released that are geared more towards collectors rarely ever receive vehicles or playsets. But here we actually did. As a centerpiece for the collection, the postal truck as featured in the prologue was released, complete with an exclusive SD Kluger figure. Yes, that's his real name, and it's the first time I'm seeing this, or at least consciously thinking about it. Now, the North Pole postal truck also features a button-activated speaker that plays the Santa Claus Is Come to Town theme, as well as coming with a few mailbags. These 6-inch figures released in a few different ways, with the mainline figures excluding the Postman all being released on single cards, with several others coming in 3-packs that just featured the same things as the normal packs, but together as one, so no exclusive expressions or accessories here. But one multi-pack is different, being a release of Winter Warlock that comes with a different set of the other figures released by Memory Lane. Releasing initially as normal PVC figures in the multi-pack with Winter, these minifigures are nicely detailed and shares the exact same character lineup as the other figures, with the addition of a Kringle elf. That definitely would have been nice to see in the main line. Although this one does somewhat scale with the other figures given their smaller stature, so not all is lost. These figures also got released on their own, and by that I mean as a set just minus Winter. This release had all the figures come with a string on their heads, as to be hung on the Christmas tree, and while I'm normally strictly against hanger figures, I think it's fitting here with the holiday theming in mind. Now, like I've expressed throughout this entire video, these figures are perfect, all coming with amazing detailed and desirable accessories that really make them nice to display, not to mention the really nicely done cloth goods that many of the figures sport. Now, that being said, these aren't the most common things to come across, and while I have seen a few of them before, owning Topper myself, they're only becoming more and more rare, and I don't think anything like this will ever be released again, at least not with this level of quality and cohesion with the other Rankin Bass Christmas figures that I will be covering in the lead up to Christmas.